when they went to medical school, they weren't given this whole course and a semester long course on, how to run a business. And here's 101 on accounting and finance. So you really have to bridge that world and make it easy for them.
Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have the bookkeeping doctor on, Miss Jessa. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great. Thank you for having me on. I'm so honored.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Jessa, before you became the bookkeeping doctor, what was Jessa's world like? Like, what was your professional background?
Sure. So I have my bachelor's in finance. I have my MBA as well. And I worked 12 years in the corporate world with two great companies doing finance and accounting positions such as senior financial analyst, cost manager. So everything in the accounting and finance world, doing business analysis and working with upper management to help drive the business and making better decisions for it.
Awesome. Now, was there anything in particular that I guess encouraged you or why you chose to go the accounting finance route?
I guess I've always known that I like numbers, so I went with that. And I did have a desire, like in my heart, when I was younger, to kind of own my own something. So I knew business was going to be in the area and route I would go, and then working with numbers just made sense to me. I actually enjoyed math.
Awesome, awesome. So now that brings us to starting your business, becoming the bookkeeping doctor. So how did that come about?
Okay, so like I said, I worked 12 years in the corporate world, and I always just kind of imagined myself, I'll just work up the corporate ladder. That's just going to be my life, and that's how it's going to happen. And then we had our fourth, and then we realized so much about the importance of us as parents and being available and having. I really had a desire in my heart to have more flexibility for our own families, but at the same time, I didn't want to let go of that desire and wish I had in my heart to still do what I'm doing in the finance and accounting world. And it made so much sense to me to be able to help, because what I was doing before was helping support the leaders of our companies making those decisions by providing the numbers and helping with the analysis and doing the presentations to guide them. And I wanted to do that now with small businesses. So that's where it kind of just all made sense that I could still apply that and support our small businesses, and also realizing that small businesses make up like 2/3 of our economy, and to know that I'm helping guide those business owners and leaders and helping them to have successful businesses, made me feel good. Like it just made sense. And so those are my two big reasons of moving on and starting the company.
Awesome. So what was that switch like to go from 12 years in corporate to now say, all right, I'm going to branch out on my own?
Yes. So that was super scary. Because like I said, I was also doing this right after I had my fourth. So there was a lot of new happening, being a new mom again of our fourth, and then having kind of learning how to be at home more often, doing kind of managing two things, right? And then learning how to start a whole new business, setting up your company, legally, and what's the best route? Is it an S corp? Is it an LLC? There's so many decisions that you have to make, and then what does a bookkeeping company look like, and what do my clients need? And so really educating myself and understanding what is the pain points of my clients. What would be if I came into their world helping them and supporting them, what would they need from me? So educating myself and really understanding how I can be a support and take that pain away from them, taking that burden. What would that need to look like? So I'm putting processes and systems into place and making sure that, I worked in corporate world and I helped corporate businesses, but small businesses are different, and each small business is different as well. So, no two dentist office are going to run exactly the same. No two chiropractors or, medical doctor, like they're not all exactly the same. So you have to really know each business. And so that was a part of the education I had to give myself as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that becomes very interesting because when you work in the corporate world, I think sometimes we underestimate the, I guess, how easy it is, how much easier it is to work in the corporate world when you have, like, even your non-finance people have some finance education, to where when you start in your own business and you're working with
True.
a chiropractor who has no really business background or no finance background, like, you have to actually like get them up to speed. They're like, oh, I can't just send them the reports and they're going to figure it out. I have to actually help them
Exactly.
understand.
Exactly. You have to learn to bring it. You can't be 100% technical, right? Like you have to bring it to have the conversations to help them understand it. And you're exactly right. Like when they went to medical school, they weren't given this whole course and a semester long course on, how to run a business. And here's 101 on accounting and finance. So you really have to bridge that world and make it easy for them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, in running your own firm, how have you found it, wearing the different hats and learning the different skills?
Yeah, that's another thing no one tells you when you first start a business is that you have to wear many hats when you first start this business. I had to learn how to create my own website, learning how to, be the IT person and learning how to do marketing. For a numbers person in the finance and accounting world, we just want to sit behind our, numbers and do that. We can work that, but being on the creative side, it doesn't, not for everyone, at least I can say for myself, marketing and advertising, all of that is a whole other ballgame. And, you have to really educate and get up to speed on that. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of learning.
Now, are there any tools that you came across, I guess, throughout that journey that you're like, hey, these tools kind of help me, or these, I guess, resources help me kind of navigate the areas of my unknown?
Mm, okay. Yeah. So when I first thought about going the bookkeeping and accounting route for small business owners, I although I have the finance and accounting background, I wanted to make sure that I really understood it from a small business perspective, right? Like, so that I really understood how that world looked for them. And I actually enrolled in a course called the Business Bookkeeper Launch. And basically, it helped me understand more of the small business world and doing bookkeeping and accounting for them, and all the things that you need to know. I also needed to get more familiar with softwares and systems that corporate world was not using, right? So, QuickBooks Online, I got certified. I'm a pro advisor for QuickBooks Online now. So I am able to provide a little bit, have that more of a knowledge in those softwares that a lot of small businesses are using. So those are some of the things. So some uh, softwares, and learning how to, I try to streamline my process as much as I can and make it as automated as possible. So learning more of the softwares and apps that are available out there that can help me do that, like Bill.com and, QuickBooks Online, like I had mentioned, HubDoc, all of these different apps that help me automate my process as much as possible.
Okay. Now, what are the services that companies or small businesses can hire your firm for?
Sure. Although I'm called the bookkeeping doctor, bookkeeping is not all that we do. So my services start from the bookkeeping, which will be, recording your transactions, classifying them. We're doing financial statements, and then we can go up further to payroll, AP, accounts receivable, and then we can also go all the way up to CFO level services, which are budgeting and forecasting, which are so important. And when you're setting like a budget and a goal and a target, there's that vision, right, of where your company, where you'd like your company to be. And when you're creating that roadmap or that path of here's where I am and here's where I'm targeted or budgeted to be, here's all the things I need to do to get to it. So we can help you with that CFO level services, business analysis, benchmarking, ROIs, the higher level like CFO services. So it can go from bookkeeping all the way up to CFO level services. The only thing I don't do is taxes. But I have a lot of great CPA referrals that I offer up to my clients if they need it. They don't have a CPA, and it really works well because the CPAs and I work well together. I make sure that I have a good relationship with them so that, when we're handing over the books to them, they already know what they're getting. Everything is clean, accurate. And so now my client and the tax accountant can spend more time not cleaning up their books, but now spending more time doing tax planning, making tax strategies so that they can have be the most advantageous on that side.
Okay, awesome. And where can people find your website or find you on social media?
Sure. So www.bookkeepingdoctor.com is my website. On there, you can find a little bit more information about my company and what all the services are that we offer. If you go to the contact us page, you'll see my email address, which is jessa.varghese@bookkeepingdoctor.com. There's also a link on there for our Facebook business page and our LinkedIn page. And yeah, you can also message me there or direct message me through email or however, if there's any questions. I also provide free consultation services. So if you just need to have a conversation, be like, Jessa, I don't know what to do with my books. What do you think? You can always give me a call and contact me.
Awesome, awesome. And before I go to the last question I ask everyone, I mean, you mentioned something earlier that you had your fourth. So what is it like, playing wife, mommy to four, or I guess, do you have more than four children now, and business owner? What's that like?
So only four.
Okay.
And it is a lot to manage, but I feel like I've always juggled a lot, right? Like have a lot to manage. And so it is definitely a learning experience, but so worth it, right? Like, so for anything that you really enjoy and love, it's hard. It's never easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but at the same time, it's worth it. So you always find a way. And for me, I guess it works well because I kind of create systems and processes and routines. So routines and schedules and things like that help me manage the family life. And I create systems and processes which help me stay sane in the business world, life here. And so that's kind of how I've been doing it.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And the question I like to ask every person, every guest that comes onto the show is, what's two pieces of wisdom or advice or things that you've learned in the process of building your business that you think, hey, entrepreneurs need to know this to be successful?
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest things I can learn is, well, there's always learning. I feel like I'm constantly learning. It's not, there's always something new for me to learn. And so don't ever feel like you know it all. Be ready to learn. Be willing to accept that things don't happen right away. There's always something that you might still need to do. And I would also say that systems and processes, track everything, try to see like what's working, what's not, network, get your name out there as far as like, let people know that you have a business. I wasn't doing that so much. I was like, I'll just sit in my little bubble, but and I'll just do this. And no, you have to meet people. And then in that, you can help their businesses too. So you have to give and not always take, right? So I always say there's always so much value in that. And I would definitely say, networking, systems and processes, be ready to learn. And one of the biggest things was also know your clients, know your customers. What do they really need you for? And making sure that you really understand that and be ready to provide. So,
Mhm. Yeah. And I think that's a really good one because I do find, like, even as I interview, I mean, like right now we're doing like 8 to 10 interviews a week with different entrepreneurs, and that becomes a very common one that they talk about, is just knowing what are your clients actually hiring you for? Like, what problem do they need you to solve?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I do think that sometimes people get a little confused where they focus on, well, this is what I want to offer. But it's just like, if that's not really what the client's focused on, then there could definitely be
All
a
for nothing.
disconnect.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And they're going to be unhappy. You're not going to be happy. So communication is, again, another thing I would say is so important. So make sure that you're really hearing what the customer or the client is telling you, and expressing is their pain point, their thing that they want to have solved, and being able to deliver that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Jessa, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate the wisdom and you sharing your story of your journey of managing, wife, mom of four, plus a growing firm. I know that that's probably stretching you in ways that you didn't when you were in the corporate world.
Well, thank you. It was really an honor to be here. I love talking to you. It's been a while, so it's been nice. And to be able to do this has been a pleasure for me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to click the subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms as the Business Talk Library.